Hello, boys and girls. This week we are still working with name art and radial symmetry. Matter of fact, I don't think y'all did names. It was the weave silk y'all did last week on the computer. But you're going to start with name art this week. And we're going to continue with radial symmetry because you could fold this the 6-point way just like we talked about last week, and it'd be the exact same shape all the way around. So first, what I want you to do is this is one of the pieces that we've done in previous years for 3rd grade symmetry, name symmetry. I want you to fold your paper in half like a hamburger. And once you have your paper folded in half like a hamburger, I want you to fold it like a hot dog. And from there, we are going to use, you can use a ruler, you can use a book, or anything with a hard flat edge that you can lay down, a notebook, book, whatever you can find, in something plastic laying around, a box, it doesn't matter, and trace through those folds. Right where it's folded, you lay whatever you're going to trace it with down. And remember, the requirements are only pencil, paper, and eraser if you have one. And it can be any type of paper. It can be a rectangle paper, or it can be a square piece of paper. Just whatever kind of paper you can find that you can take a picture of and submit into Canvas. Now we're going to turn the paper portrait style. So we did have it turn landscape. And now we're portrait style. And on that fold, where it was folded, lay that ruler beside that fold and trace that line all the way through the paper. Now you're going to do 2 more X's in the middle, through the middle of each corner, and go from corner to corner. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. So you just kind of put you a dot right here where the X's, where those 2 lines crossed, and make sure your ruler is on it, straight on that dot. And go ahead and trace. And make sure you do yours in pencil first, because you may need to realign your lines. And then, in order to get this to fit, you're just going to kind of have to eyeball it and make sure whatever you're using, ruler or whatever, is coming off the corner of the paper. And you line it up. And like right here, I'm going to have to thicken my line because it didn't quite line up. So the line's going to have to be a little thicker there. And you're going to do the same thing here. And I didn't do this side. Let's go back, line that up, run it into the other line. Run that one off, and then run this one off the paper, the corner of the paper. Sticking that there. Now, this next part is where your name mark comes in at. You're going to pick a triangle and write your name in it. And you're going to have to start small and get bigger. And then you might end up having to get smaller again. But if you have a really short name, you're going to need to make those letters really big and stretch them out through this whole triangle. If you have a really long name, you're going to have to squeeze them in there. And make sure you use all capital letters. No lowercase. Now, make sure you skip. Leave a triangle empty. Skip a space. And those letters are going to have to start squeezing smaller again. Now, make sure you skip a space again. Leave one triangle empty. The next triangle gets your name. So you should be on number 3 after you've skipped 1, 2, because you started here. And there's 6 of these all together, just like we talked about the 6 fold last week in our live. And you're gonna skip it one more time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you can fold it. There's 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 lines, I think. 8 lines. There's 8 lines there. So you should have 8 lines on your paper once you have crossed them. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually a total of 4 whole lines, and then 8 once you have put that dot in there coming out radial around them. Finish your name. And when we finish our name, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 empty spaces in between each one, and 4 with your name in it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw patterns. And these type of patterns are what we call zentangles. Zentangles are patterns that are on the same work space, whatever material you are working on. And with the change of every section of the paper, because you're not writing your name in there is almost like a pattern too. So that would be a zentangle. No, once we get finished, it would be a whole entire zentangle type pattern. But your zentangles, you're going to have to choose a different pattern for each empty section. So with zentangles, they all have to be different. They cannot be the same, like your name is. Your name's not the same, so it's not a zentangle pattern. It's like a negative and positive space, but with your name in it, telling the story of your name. But the zentangle patterns need to be completely different each time in each section. And here in this section, I'm just going to do some wavy lines. In this section, I'm just going to do some zigzags. In this one, I think I'll do a different type of pattern. And here, I think I'll do some spirals all through it. Now, when it comes to, when I finish these zentangle patterns, when it comes to coloring, whatever you have, coloring pencils, markers, crayons, whatever you have available to you, you can either color it, the whole entire thing. If you just color this whole sheet of paper, one color, and it can be one color, that would be monochromatic. Monochromatic means one color. And once you've done, make sure once you've done all this and with pencil, you trace over it in black. And then you color it in. And it, like I said, it can be all one color, which means monochromatic. Or it can be multicolored. It is up to you. And I think I'm going to go with purple. And remember to color these as neat as you possibly can. Try to color in the same direction, except for in places where you absolutely can't. And those places where you absolutely can't sometimes are down here at the edge of the papers. But the rest of the time, go with the flow. Keep it going in the same direction. And I'm gonna finish all the rest of my name in purple. And then I'm just going to choose whatever colors I want to finish out the rest of it. So I chose orange, and just for my satisfaction, when I colored this one orange, I'm going to go across from it to kind of try and keep a pattern with the colors too. And like I said, yours can be any colors you want. It's totally up to you. And I'm going to finish these two across from each other off in green. Okay, now there we have our name art, radial symmetry, and zentangles all in one art piece for this week, week 2. And remember, be colorful, have fun.